We're at the Gunwerks booth at 2019 SHOT Show. I'm talking with Caylen Wojcik and Phil Velayo.
Yep.
Good seeing you guys.
Good seeing
it's always good to come and visit you. Now, we got a lot of cool products. We're also going to talk about training. Let's first talk about the training piece. You guys are both doing the training for Gunwerks, is that right?
Yeah, Phil's basically, he's the lead instructor out at Burlington, so he's seeing the bulk of the students go through.
Gotcha.
Yep. So for training, we've got three courses, right? We've got we've got two separate courses. We've got our hunter courses, we've got our competition courses, right? So they're both broken down into 3 levels, right? Level 1 is considered the foundation, level 2 is the development, and level 3 is what we call the application. So what a hunter would see if he would come to the course and want to learn about hunting, more of like a hunting oriented style or approach to long-range shooting. So, first and foremost, the foundation of understanding the weapon system, right? So from the buttstock all the way to the muzzle brake or suppressor, whatever he's using, and then truly, I think Caylen and I's forte is the art department of the application of the fundamentals of marksmanship. I think that's huge. Establishing that baseline and getting that shooter comfortable with getting behind a precision rifle weapon system. I see a lot of students, that come through the course and they've got years and years of experience behind a rifle, not necessarily a precision rifle. So it's not necessarily bad habits they've attributed over time, but what I've tried to figure out is a approach to my teaching style that just allows them to be more efficient with their marksmanship abilities, to extend their range a little bit more than what they're used to.
Now, is it required to go in sequence 1, 2, 3, or if I feel like I'm experienced, can I jump in on a 2, or how does that work?
You can always jump into 2 or 3. There's no one saying that you have to do 1. But me as an instructor, just because of what I found different instructor shooting styles and stuff like that, I'm a firm believer of just starting with that first one. We don't have a test or anything that it's like, hey, do this test to see what you qualify for, because like I said, the initial foundation of the introduction to the fundamentals of marksmanship and how Caylen and I teach it, I think is important for people to understand, right? Rather than kind of just jumping into our level 2 course, which is the development. So that's where we talk about the how and why of long range shooting. So
if I was interested in long range shooting or hunting, would I have to come in with gear, or what are sort of the requirements as far as gear is concerned?
Yeah, we provide all the gear. The students come to our course and they shoot 6.5 Creedmoors, our schoolhouse guns, which is 6.5 Creedmoors and these Magnus stocks, which we'll show here in a little bit. Everything is provided by the school.
Awesome. Okay. Anything else on the training?
Yeah, so in our training, especially in the level 3 aspect of things, for guys that are looking for a little bit more edge or wanting to fine-tune a lot of their skills, especially from a competitive standpoint, the level 3 package is also a great place to come train, because on the level 3 package, Phil's taking students out into real-world conditions, field shooting environments. He's got a great course set up out there where he can put the students under time limits and create control measures to build skills from, and that's really important. So it's not just simply a hunting course. It's you can be using that multifaceted for multifaceted purposes. The other thing that we want to mention to everybody is that we are going to be training around a lot of other places throughout the United States. We got some courses that are going to be coming up in Washington in a mountain shooting environment. We got another mountain shooting school going on in Utah. That's really awesome. Phil's been there. That's a great place to train. And then Monster Lake in general. And we're also hosting a National Rifle League match this year back again at Monster Lake.
That's great.
Yep. I think for the audience of competitive shooters, I think one thing I would like to challenge a lot of I guess those shooters just trying to figure out how to bleed into the top. Come out to one of my courses, because I'm truly interested to tap into that market in the sense of how to push you to that next level, right? Because at the end of the day, you don't know what you don't know, right? And that's one thing that I'm seeing in the competitive market. Guys just plateauing, right? And that's for me as what I want to see as an instructor, to see how I can get that shooter to that next level.
Yeah. And I think that's very common. You plateau and you can't quite figure out how do I break through, and sometimes it takes a professional instructor to find out what that is.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's move on to the product. I see the Revit scope, some brass. Why don't we talk there and start off there?
So this right here is the Revit Pmr. This right now is an MOA version, but we do have a mill version. It came out. I've been testing it for the last for about a week. I got about 100 rounds, so I'm confident to say that the software is great. So if you're unfamiliar with the Revit, it's pretty much our smart optic. We've got a 5 to 28 magnification range. It is a 56 millimeter objective tube, parallax, toolless zero, right? So just using a bullet tip to zero the turrets, and then you still have your standard locking turret, right? And once you have the program inside the software, or the ballistic software programmed, you pretty much dial to your range. So it takes the third party out, I would say, right? Once you range it, and then having to use a firing solution, right?
Because a ballistic calculator is in the scope.
Is in the scope.
Okay.
Absolutely, yeah. So we have application, the Revit app. Just like any kind of standard ballistic software, it asks you what your
So you feed it about your ballistic data into
your gun profile and everything, and then you transfer it over to the Revit, and it gives you a heads-up display, and you dial it to the range of whatever your prescribed target is.
Now, because there's a lot of high-end electronics that are completely weather sealed.
Completely weather sealed.
Okay.
It is. So it just like your Kestrel or all those other even our rangefinder, it's consistently updating the atmospheric conditions, and it gives you your wind solution and stuff like that, as well as compensates for aerodynamic jump, and your ability to validate the trajectory and ballistic coefficient at that distance.
Yeah.
So
very good.
Something else that we definitely want the customers to be aware of is that and a lot of people ask, hey, what happens when the battery fails? Because it will fail eventually, right?
Right.
So, but you still have the capabilities of an analog scope. Everything that you would have with a normal scope, it is not required to have batteries to run the scope as an analog scope.
Okay.
Right? So you can still dial our turrets. We're still moving the erector tube up and down. We still have the ability to dial parallax. We just lose, once we don't have a battery, it just turns into an analog scope.
Gotcha. Okay.
So next we have our Gunwerks brass, right? So this right here is our 338 Lapua Magnum brass, but I've been personally using on the competitive side the 6 millimeter Creedmoor brass, and I think it's doing fantastic so far. I'm getting single digit SDs, with all the loads that I've been shooting. Some of our staff have been using the 6.5 PRC, 6.5 Creedmoor brass, and 7 LRM, 28 Nosler, and they've had fantastic results. So I think it's something that is going to be very competitive on the market right now, especially compared to the other brass that has their offerings. But strictly for a hunting brass, I think it's very, very competitive right now on the market.
So do you see yourself really expanding it out into other cartridges that hunters would typically use? Is that fair?
That is the eventual goal.
Okay. Okay. Great. And this is available now if you go up to the Gunwerks website?
Yep. It's available now in 6 millimeter Creedmoor, 6.5 Creedmoor, 6.5 PRC, 28 Nosler, and we've got other 2 large calibers as well.
Okay. Very good. I also see here some really new stocks that I have not seen before.
For me, it's the most exciting. I really appreciate the Verdict stock. This is one of my favorite stocks from Gunwerks. I kind of like this stock because I like a more traditional feel to a rifle stock, but I also want the adjustability of a chassis system to be able to custom fit the rifle to me, so that way I can extract the most potential from that system. And the Verdict stock gives us that. So we got adjustable length of pull here with spacers, okay? And we also have the ability to adjust the butt pad to fit the custom fit to the shooter's shoulder, and we can make that adjustment in literally seconds. It's pretty ingenious. All it is some grip tape on this surface and some rubber here, and we're just using friction from the thumb screw to keep it all in place. Adjustable comb height, it's pretty standard. We got some sling swivel studs here, the QD cups. The other cool part of the stock is the adjustable grip swells. So these can swap out different size grips for different people's shapes of different hands and personal shooter preference.
Yeah.
The other awesome engineered product that we have here is designed pretty much from the ground up, bottom metal. So the bottom metal here, we can actuate the magazine release from either inside the trigger guard or outside the trigger guard, and we have 3 different styles of this magazine release. So if you want a really high profile, can't ever miss it for like competitive shooting, we have that, and we have, this is a medium profile, and then we have a completely smooth profile for those that want that look.
Yeah.
This is obviously a detachable box magazine. So up underneath here, I don't know if you can see that, but there is a magazine catch adjustment screw, which I find to be a really nice feature.
Okay.
Not all magazine catches are made the same, not all magazines are made the same, so that way we can custom fit that on this bottom metal.
Yeah.
This bottom metal is also available for any of the rifle stocks, so the inlet fits the same.
Okay.
So if I wanted to do a floor plate, all I have to do is put a floor plate on this, and now I have an internal box magazine. So it's all the same inlets. Right here we got this is it's a Barricade Stop, but I like this feature here. That way if I'm pushing up against a bag, I'm pushing up against a barricade, I'm not going to induce any malfunctions with a detachable box magazine, tilting the mag in the mag well. So you can take that on, or you can put it on or take it off.
Okay.
We got a full-length Arca rail here for those guys that want to run that type of gear. We can also have a partial length Arca rail, as you guys can see on this rifle stock right here. That's the version that we see there. And then we can just run a Picatinny rail section up here if that's what you so choose.
Yep.
Forward here, we got a 1 M-LOK slot for mount and accessory. For my applications, teaching law enforcement clients, shooting with lasers, shooting at night, it's a perfect place to mount my laser designator. So, and we got sling swivel studs here. Night vision mount for those of the guys out there that want to shoot thermals or night vision if you're so inclined. The night vision mount is the version that I have, 0-point aim, point impact shift, so that tells me that the night vision mount's perfectly placed. There's no lateral deviation between the action scope rail rather, and the night vision rail. So I took this rifle stock to the JC Steel Challenge, and a lot of people saw it and they thought that I was shooting a hunt rifle because they saw the carbon fiber. They thought it was lightweight. Well, we offer the stock in 2 different fills. So if you want, you can have a full-featured chassis system in carbon fiber, super lightweight, 2 to 3 pounds, if that's what you want to do. Or if you want to shoot this in like a heavier recoiling caliber or build a competition gun, you can get it in fiberglass fill, and it's going to weigh about 5 pounds. We're also going to have a weight kit for those people that want to do that with their guns.
Okay.
You can put weights on this and make it more heavy if you so choose.
Very nice. And as far as inletting for the barrel profile, what could you fit in there?
You can fit in here, well, basically you can fit in here whatever you like. We've got some new competition contours coming that we want to make sure that we fit this. Gunwerks is all about having a really beautiful look to the rifle. And so if you want to order one of these stocks, we want to make sure that we cut the inlet, the barrel channel, so that it looks aesthetically pleasing for your gun. So that way it's not kind of looking dingy, so to speak.
Has pricing been set for these stocks?
The pricing has not been set for the verdict, but it will be available for component sales, and it's going to be a very competitive price point based upon the other stocks that are in this class surrounding in the industry.
Gotcha. Okay. And then what do we have here?
So this is just another version of the verdict stock, and for those of you guys that actually want to see a barreled action in the verdict stock, this is what you can expect to see. I think it's super sexy.
Oh yeah.
It looks great. It feels great, and I love shooting the stock.
Yeah, it's a beautiful
fantastic
rifle.
And I think next I want to bring in the engineer that worked on our flagship release product, which is our suppressors.
Rex, how are you doing?
Pretty good. How are you?
Great. So we have a couple of suppressors here, and you're going to tell us about it. What do we got?
Yeah. So Gunwerks developed two suppressors that are really catered towards the precision rifle market. as a precision hunting company, and now more delving into that tactical space, PRS space. We really wanted to deliver a can to our suppressor, to our customers, that was tailored towards that precision. So we ultimately developed 2 different cans, and as you can see here, they're both very different sized, right? You've got a big one and a small one. We wanted our small one to be the perfect hunting suppressor. So it's lightweight, it's compact, it's snag free, and the suppression that you're going to get out of this can is actually pretty good. It's right there with all of the competition. It's actually outperforming a lot of the competition in similarly sized cans and even a little bit larger cans.
Gotcha.
So we've got a really compact package that's really effective at sound suppression. This one is our 8. It's a little bit bigger. It's 8 inches. The small one's 6 inches. So it's longer in length and diameter. The 6 is an 1.5 inch diameter can, while this 8 is an 1 3/4 can. So being a little bit bigger, you're going to get ultimate sound suppression out of this suppressor. So really, you see a lot of suppressor manufacturers having a really wide array of products, right? And you'll go look at a booth, you'll be like, I see 20 silencers here, and I can't tell the difference between any of them, right? So what we wanted to give our customers is a really quick and easy way to choose between the 2. So when you look at these, they're very different. They're different in size and application, and you can really easily pick, okay, if I'm a lightweight mountain hunter, I'm going to go with the 6. If I'm a PRS shooter and I really want to be able to shoot with no ears on and send 200 rounds downrange in a range session, you're probably going to get the 8, right, for that ultimate suppression, and maybe the size and weight doesn't matter quite as much.
And tell us what we have going on here.
Yeah, so one of the features that we incorporated in the suppressors is this front bore reducer.
Okay.
These are both 30 cal suppressors as they ship from the factory. But what we allow the user to do is tune their bore to match the caliber that they're shooting.
Got it.
And what that allows you to do, it gives you 2 things. One of them is you're going to be able to squeeze every last little bit of decibel reduction out of your suppressor that you can. A lot of guys obviously are shooting 6 millimeters. Some guys are shooting 22 calibers. We're going to offer reducers in those calibers, and that'll scrub off a decibel and a half of sound reduction. And you might not be able to hear that difference, but it really is going to bring it down just that little bit more. Another thing it gives you is the opportunity to replace them if they ever get damaged. One of the most common failure points on a suppressor is the front cap. It's the most common place that you're going to get a baffle strike or anything. So in the event that happens, it's a little replaceable part, $20, and you're off and running with a clean bill of health on your suppressor again.
And as far as pricing, availability, what are we looking at there?
Yeah, so the 6 is going to be $849, and the 8 is going to be $899. So pretty affordable pricing there. They're both going to ship with a 5/8 24 and a 1/2 28 mount. So you're going to get 2 mounts in the box, ready to go on probably 80% of the guns that are out there in those 2 standard calibers. A couple other features on these. Most guys that shoot suppressed have probably gone through the frustration of getting mounts stuck, whether that's mount stuck in your can or mount stuck on your barrel. One of the things we wanted to do is eliminate that for the customers. I've owned a lot of suppressors, shot a lot of suppressors, and I haven't shot one that doesn't get stuck when you don't want it to get stuck. So what we did is we took a 3/8 inch hex key, we put it in the front of the reducer, and we put it in the back can. So you can come in here, and with the same tool, you can pull the reducer, or the adapter, out of the back of your can or off of your barrel. So you can see we put that same hex on the inside, so you can get this out of your suppressor and off of your barrel with the same tool.
Very nice.
Nothing will ever get stuck. And you're probably familiar with a lot of the suppressor mounts. We put the taper in front of our threads. It'll keep our threads clean, keep everything axially aligned. Again, for our customers being ultimate precision junkies, we want to cater to that market. So that's what we did.
Excellent. Thank you, Rex, for that overview of your suppressors. And Caylen, Phil, thank you for your time and
glad to
that
have
update for our audience.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Best of luck this year.
Thank you.